The language of the Dene was at one time a very complete language, but down through the years, the words in that we apply to certain things have kind of changed. The language of our people, the Nebazad is what we call it, is a very complete language. We hardly have to borrow many words from other people. But the language itself is a language we are told that was the language that was used by the holy people to organize all things. And so it is that the language of the Dene was at one time a very complete language, but down through the years, the words in that we apply to certain things have kind of changed. It's a very descriptive language, because even when you discuss the modern terminology for some of the words, like we have the metals iron, copper, and gold, and silver, which is basically. But even when you get down to the basically, there are other metals in that, like nickel, silver. We call it basically, which is to say the metal that tries to present itself as silver. And so it is that even words that we hear today, names that are given to characters that we have encountered, like for example the Spaniards, Nakai, which means the walk-arounds or the marchers. When our people first saw the Spaniards, they called them the people that are walking around, Nakai. And so the name that we gave to a clan after some of the ones that were captured and adopted into the clan group, they call them Nakai Dene. And to this day we call them Nakai Dene, but the translation, the correct translation, is the Spaniard clan. But many times we have it misinterpreted to say the Mexican clan. Actually, the Mexican clan is not the Nakai. That's not what that originally means. The Nakai is the Spaniards. Mexican is a completely different group. And the other names than that we have that are lost is that even of naming of Kit Carson, Atalohi. Atalohi does not mean the roper. It has no meaning of that. It means the roper. It means the trapper, Atalohi, because being a trapper, he had these traps, and that was the implement that he used to catch various creatures. And so he would use the trap, and he would catch those creatures. And so it was that he was Atalohi. And so there's even words lost in that regard. So it is that even with the clan families and that, we have some names that we haven't interpreted correctly and mispronounced, and also in kinship relationships. And for example, you have your father, Shema, my mother, Shema-san, and Sheche, and all those. And then Shanala would be on your father's side. That's a whole different word, Shanala, for your father's side, kinship. And then you have your sisters, children, especially if they're girls, then those are called Shemayaja, which would mean my little mother. And sometimes today we have people calling their mother sister Shemayaja, which is incorrect. And you would call them Shema, which would be my mother, just like you would refer to your mother. But in the real old days, the word was Shekai. That was the clan, the relationship with your mother's sister. And Shajayaja was your father's brother, which would be my little father. And your father's sister would be Shibija, or even Hajayaja, or your father's brother, you might also refer to as Shibija as well. But those things are taking place. And today we hear even baby talk among our people when they say such thing as reference to a rodeo. Originally it was called Navajo, but our younger people are referring to it as ahohe, which is very incorrect. And so it is that our language, as it progresses, the translations are not very good. I believe that in 10 years that we will have lost a lot of the words in that. In fact, when the language goes, the culture goes with it. All of the cultural teachings and the traditional teachings of our people can best be understood in the language of our people. And we're even told that some of the prophecies in that are made, that one day we will cut our hair and we will not be able to speak the language of the Ne anymore. One of the things that when the Ne were originally allowed to keep the language, one of the promises that were made was we would never write the language. But today they use the methods of the phonetic reading of the language, and so it is that it is written in English phonetically, and it's trying to be preserved in that way. But in even doing so, there's still a lot of it that is lost in the translation.